it's important that we go deep within ourselves, deep within our souls, whether it be through feeling our feelings and experiencing that, or reaching out to our community as the roots do, before we head out into the light. Now, you'll have to, the music on this is a little happy, so it's okay, it's banjo music, but it's not what I would have picked for the seeds, but go for it. So I love that image. So the next time that you experience a trauma in your life, or you experience some kind of a cracking or a breaking or a loss, instead of trying to just, buck up and get back out into the light and back out into the world right away, give yourself the opportunity to go deep into the earth, deep into yourself, deep into your soul, deep into your psyche, and dig those roots nice and deep. And then, just as we saw on that video where the roots reached out and held other roots, that's a call for us to reach out to our community, to reach out to our families, and to reach out to our friends, because you saw that plant seemed to get stronger as it reached out and touched each other, yeah? And that's what I saw yesterday with this room filled with community, with fellow students and teachers and parents of Justin who were here yesterday. The whole community showed up to support Blair and Craig and Jesse. They showed up and helped them in their rootedness, in their grief, in their loss, to connect, so that at some point they'll be able to come back out into the light and into the world. I like what White Eagle says about loss. White Eagle said, "Those of you who have lost dear ones, although you may miss the physical presence, yet try to realize that something, a great gift, has been given to you. It is difficult to describe this gift because it's of a spiritual nature. We might say that it is as if a seed has been planted in your soul's garden, and this seed can grow into a lovely flower. Yes, we know that a physical loss can never be replaced, but still we say that a great and compensating blessing can come into your soul as a result of the loss, which is an increased understanding of life. You may not have this gift yet, but it is coming. It takes a long time for this divine consciousness to develop and grow in the individual soul. Nevertheless, this seed is sown and the flower of spiritual understanding is growing until one day, when it comes into its full glory, you will wonder at its beauty. It is the seed of cracking open, of grief, of loss, of change, of joy, of life, that calls us to go deep within ourselves so that we can then come back out into the world. Life is change. Sometimes things are great and sometimes they're not. I had the strange experience when I was in Chicago with my son for his graduation. We were at the 95th, the signature room at the John Hancock building, having a drink and celebrating my son's graduation from college. And as we were sitting there, as I was sitting there with my kids, my phone rang, and it was Craig. And I had already known that Justin had died, and we had planned the service for June 18th, and he was calling to say that they would rather have it June 11th here at the church. And I couldn't help but feel the strangeness of life, that here was a grieving father on the phone for his son who was born the same year as my son, and there is my son celebrating his graduation. And that, again, it's the dance of life that we're constantly moving with, and we're constantly changing, and sometimes we're celebrating and sometimes we're mourning, but it's all a part of it. So the service ended yesterday with Justin's brother Jesse speaking. He said he wanted to have the last word. And this beautiful, handsome, I think he's like 24-year-old, stood up here. And he said, you know, in families, we have our problems, obviously. Sometimes you get along with your family and sometimes you don't. And he said, but you know what? What I've learned from this experience is that's what is important. Is family, is friends, is love, is being here right now. And he said, so if you're having an issue with somebody, he goes, I have one thing to say to all of you, and that is get over it. Get over it. And then he said, you know, I know that some of us have a hard time saying how we feel, and that, you know, saying I love you is difficult. And he says, and I want to say something else to you. I want to say, get over it. Get over it. And when he said that to us yesterday, I could feel we got it. The entire room felt his grief and felt his loss, because he said, you don't know when the last time will be that you see somebody. You won't know when the last time that you're even going to be here, yeah? We think we have forever, but we don't. So our lesson this week and our focus this week is we're continuing to dream, because that's what we're here for. We are co-creators of God, and next week we join with Karen Drucker and Passion and Father's Day, and we move forward in our dream. And we know that sometimes we're going to be celebrating at the top of the 95th, and other times we're going to be mourning and grieving. Because that's the dance of life. It's what we signed up for, because life is impermanent. It's changing. It's what it does. But the one unchanging principle, the one unchanging is God, is love. If you find yourself in trauma, in cracking open, remember the picture of that seed. And rather than trying to buck up and get back out there right away, allow that cracking open to be felt within you, because it's a healing. And allow yourself, like those roots, to go deep inside your soul and reach out to your family, your friends, and your community. And then be willing to go back out into the world and share your gifts. So we dream. We recognize that life is always changing and impermanent, and we dance with it. We dance with it. Amen.
Thank you.